In the past, I have talked a lot about the problems facing Etsy with sellers, and now here are a few horrible issues facing the website right now for a bunch of sellers out there, as fellow sellers out there. Of course, personally, I'm a seller on Etsy and I have put them on blast a bunch in past videos, and now it's going to be no different because I'm not going to hold back at all in this video. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. But before I get into this, please remember to subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell for more. So now, Etsy sellers have been facing a problem since August, which is Etsy has brilliantly decided to put these old negative reviews on top of sellers' pages. It's absolutely absurd. Why is Etsy doing this? I have no idea. It makes no sense for either the buyer or the seller. If I was a buyer going to a shop, I could easily just scroll through the reviews, just see all the negative reviews, if there's 1 stars compared to 5 stars, what have you, whatever. If I'm a buyer and I really want to know about a shop, I could see all of their reviews. Why do they have to be posted on the front of the page, on the very top section? It makes no sense. If I was a new seller to Etsy, this has happened a lot to new sellers out there, they've immediately gotten negative feedback, like 1 stars, 2 stars, and what have you. I've gotten comments that someone received a 3-star rating right off the bat, and it was actually the customer's fault, not even the buyer. They thought they were getting something that was different, but even though it was listed in the actual description itself, the buyer just had false pretenses going forward when they bought this item. So if you have someone who is going to buy an item from you, let's just say on Etsy, and they were going to look at their negative reviews on a shop page, they may not buy from you. And these old reviews that are popping up all of a sudden on Etsy are just reviews that you potentially were new, or something just went wrong that was out of your control or something, or the buyer just decided to leave a negative review. Listen, most negative reviews on Etsy, for the most part, depending on, of course, who the seller is, BS. They're absolute BS. Okay, listen, I have messed up a few times on Etsy as a seller. I'll admit that. And I've immediately refunded the buyer, or I immediately just called for a return. That's just what normal people do. That's what normal sellers do on Etsy. If there's something that goes wrong potentially, then you may not even be at fault. So why is Etsy punishing you to put all these negative reviews on the top of your review page? I don't know. Something else that is just really boggled my mind is that Etsy has forced the seller to not be able to hide a photo in the reviews. This is especially absurd because I have actually gotten a bunch of photos that are horrendous. I mean, these photos should never be seen by anybody. I'm not even joking you. There have been partial nudity photos that have been submitted on my Etsy shop, and I've actually just hid them from buyers, because if you're someone who's just scrolling down the reviews, you don't want to see someone half nude, half naked in one of these reviews here. I still don't want people to see certain things when they're looking at reviews. It has a negative effect on my shop if a lot of the times there are photos that are posted also. Sometimes the product may not be in the best light. It may look, for instance, a green may look a little bluish or a little teal, and I don't want the future customers to see potentially a photo of, let's just say, a shirt that was print on demand that was sent to a buyer, and even though it was a 5-star review, I still don't want people to see someone wearing the shirt if it's all crinkled up, potentially, if someone washed it way too many times or something. It's just not a positive look in terms of people posting photos. And so I just don't get both of these things here from Etsy. And so as sellers, what we could do to combat this is just leave comments on this video. Etsy watches these videos. There are people that work for Etsy that actually go on YouTube and look at these videos that people make, and they will listen potentially. Now look, there are a bunch of really big problems with Etsy. These are just some of them, and there's no reason to not be able to hide a photo from certain buyers. It doesn't make any sense. It really just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense that these negative reviews, since August this has been happening to a bunch of sellers, have been posted on top of the page for everybody to see and let you get less and less sales will come of it, because buyers are going to be very turned off by these 1-star reviews. And some of them are just not even justified, some of these 1-star reviews. I've reached out to Etsy a few times because luckily I have not had that many 1-star reviews. My customer service has been very good, luckily. I've taken great pride in all of that and providing a great customer experience to buyers out there, which is what I would highly recommend for you, the sellers, to do, of course. But I have gotten 1-star reviews like everybody else on the platform, and it's some of them are just not justified. I've done everything I could to try to satisfy the buyer, but sometimes buyers just can't be satisfied. And so it really, really pains me to see that there are just more issues involving Etsy. I don't know what we're going to do going forward. I just really hope you guys comment. Also, reach out to Etsy too. Listen, that's one of the best things that you could do also, is just to reach out to Etsy and explain your case and say that I don't like some of the things that you're doing on the platform, and they could potentially change like they have done in the past. And so if you like this video, remember to like and, for God's sake, comment also, and hit the notification bell. Subscribe as well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.